Monday. Thankfully there is a Monday. At the start of the day today was removing the top of a house. And the whole cut it into sections and attach a cable and use the lull to lift each individual piece down went great. See, I still have all my fingers and toes. And for the fun of it, I'm using a different filter on the camera. It actually said it was to make it look like an old movie. I can't tell. Maybe it'll look completely different when it's edited, but what are we looking at today? We're looking at Eric's Ale. Lips of Faith series. You know it. 7% by volume. This is from New Belgium. Evidently it can sit for quite a while. It's best enjoyed by April 2nd, 2017. It's close. It's close to my birthday. That's cool. Eric says it best. This is a sour peep for those who don't like sour beers. Oh, sorry, the sour beer. The thing is scratched. Screw you. The thing is scratched off. A sour peep. That didn't make any sense, but that I noticed that part of the F next to that. For those who don't like sour beers, and a fruit beer for those who don't like fruit beers. Wood age beers at New Belgium. Okay. What do I know about Eric's Ale? Well, what I hear is that it's a massive beer. It's girthy. I know when it's in a really big bottle. Okay. Wow, the shit is getting thick. Let's see, what haven't I used? Haven't used the one from Johnnie lately. Don't mess with Texas. He's on a cruise right now, snapping pictures, wishing we were all there. Bastard. Okay. I'm sure it's going to have a massive head on it too. I mean, we know right off the bat, if it has my name on it, it's going to be awesome. Outstanding, I'm thinking. Wow, almost smells like something from the brewery. It's got that sweet sour like wine like smell with a subtle peach. And it looks something like that. Kind of hazy, but kind of a cool yellow amber color. Or is it the filter that the camera is using? Okay. Cheers. Wow. I think as of right now, I haven't had a thing from the brewery that hasn't been like outstanding. And this from New Belgium. New Belgium for me is, you know, overall, everything I've had from them, you know, hasn't necessarily been a 10. There's been some in there that have been pretty good. Ed brought me another one of the Rangers. I think it was the Ranger, and that's in a big bottle. Might even break into that after this. But New Belgium is, overall, they're one of those, you know, steady. You know, they don't really have anything that I've had that I would give a low rating to. You know, it's a, you know, if it, using a like a hockey analogy, kind of like my Wild, you know, they play good enough that they always get in the playoffs. But and that's kind of like where they are. Everything I've had has been like really, really good. But this, if you dumped this beer into a bottle from the brewery and gave it some name, something that I haven't had, you would easily convince me that it's from the brewery. And the brewery, if you haven't had anything from them, they have a tendency to like really step outside the box. I mean, the sours and just the way they taste. I mean, it's like I haven't had a single thing from the brewery that reminded me of something else that I've kind of had. They've kind of been in their own little league, and this has just reminded me of something from them, which is taking it to a whole new level for New Belgium. Up front, you're getting that sour. It's one of those things until you have it. And that's why if I had something like this and I opened it up and gave it, like, say you, yeah, you, we're here right now, I'd, you know, maybe pour some into a glass and, you know, give that a try, because you're either going to be going, wow, that's really unique and I like it, but it's that sweet sour that you get that, and right behind that is like a peach, subtle, like it has just a subtle peach. This would be good as like a dessert beer, or a lunch at work beer, or driving a long way in a car and I'm really bored beer. No, I'm just kidding. Going through Nebraska beer. Yeah, it isn't like, woo, woo, you know, there isn't like a lot of unique things going on. It's just that overall, that kind of like sour, bitter, sweet beginning, and then just has just kind of like has enough flavor to get it done, but it's not overdone on the sour. It's not overdone. It's not like fruity like you think you're having a wine cooler or something like that. This is really good. That Eric, he's fucking awesome. That's all I have to say. Eric and his beeps. Oh, beer. Or peeps. Beer. Maybe it's peeps. It's peeps. You gotta check with his peeps. Check with those peeps. The alcohol, if it didn't say 7%, I probably would have pegged it closer to a 5. The alcohol is really hidden, really mellow. it's got some smooch on the bottom. I don't know if it's like a partially filtered or a beer for those who don't like sour beers, and a fruit beer for those who don't like fruit beers. You know, I'm not quite sure. If you didn't like sour and you didn't like peach, no matter how unique it is, it's still sour with a, you know, sour sweet with a slight peach flavor. So I think Eric might be full of shit on that. I mean, it's like if you went into it hating sour beers and didn't particularly like fruity beers, or I mean, it doesn't say that it's peach, but it's definitely peach. I like it though. I think it's, like I said, it's just reminding me of something straight from the brewery, not from New Belgium. But again, nothing against New Belgium, because they generally do beer pretty damn good. Okay, well, would I get it again? Hell yeah. I mean, I don't know on the specialty stuff. I can get a lot of New Belgium beers up here, but I haven't seen this. Like I said, would I get it again? Hell yeah. Oh, I guess it does actually say it in the little fine print right under the part where it says Eric's. Wood aged sour peach ale. So, where would I put Eric's ale? I personally, I really like this, but I also like the different characteristics of that. You know, could I drink this all day long? Possibly. You know, it's not so rich and so heavy and so full of flavors where it's like, consider it like a treat. You know, like one of my, you know, right now my all-time favorites, something like the Double Black from my local boys at Bent Paddle. I couldn't sit and drink that from dusk till dawn. At 10.2 or 3%, it probably wouldn't be an all-day thing anyway. So on the E-scale, I'm actually going to give this a 10. I really like this characteristic, and anything that says Eric's Ale on it just has to be outstanding. Tomorrow, when we look at Hop Devil India Pale Ale from Victory. 6.7%. This is another one from Smile Money. That one was from Johnnie Watson. So we'll take a look at the Hop Devil tomorrow. Meanwhile, and now that we've almost had an adequate amount of alcohol in my system, today's weapon of choice. I was thinking about the 10 millimeter, but there should be something to, if you're gonna defend yourself with it. Now, I think some of these people, you know, if you were to do a video about you know, getting a new gun and carrying it, somebody will make a comment about, you know, it's like you need to know that it actually works. You know, well, I know from the past I can get 2 shots off with the 10 millimeter before it, you know, the Rock Island, before it locks up. So I'm guessing I feel pretty good about it now, because the last person to shoot it was Arnell at the gunsmith at Rock Island. But on the other hand, at this very moment in time, hands down, one of my, of course, I love them all. They're like a whole safe full of children. But this one, I can honestly say I know how it performs between the Friday shoot with Jason Shade and Saturday's shoot. I personally, actually, there was one issue. Scott shot it and had a fail to lock the slide back on the last round, and I don't know why. It could have been his prissy little hands, but as of this moment in time, I'll just take a guess and say it's between the 2 days, what I shot it, what other people shot it. I suppose it's 250, 300 rounds through it, and that one time was the only time that it did that. But oh yeah, just in case, I've got the rest in peace rounds, the RIPs. You gotta, I don't know if the rest in peace round would be better to shoot a friend with or a family member versus a complete stranger. I mean, you consider it's a very expensive bullet just to waste on a nobody intruder. So I don't know. Other thoughts for the gun guys, because I know this is just a brew review channel, right? Every now and then, I've done videos like my Glock 20, the Glock 27 video. I, just happened to have it, all the mags all loaded up to do a little shooting at the range, and I don't know how many comments I've gotten. What's wrong with you carrying Full Metal Jacket rounds and a carry gun? So the fuck what? What is who gives a shit? In all honesty, Ray, my man Ray, STL Ray Edwards, he saw a video and happened to mention it, and I don't do it all the time, but I have one of the mags for the G23 loaded up. Hollow point, Full Metal Jacket. Hollow point, Full Metal Jacket. Hollow point, Full Metal Jacket. Because if for some reason you're in a situation, it happens to us on a daily basis, where maybe the bad guy is behind glass or something, or in a car, all of a sudden the hollow point isn't going to be effective against something like that. So if you stagger the rounds in your mag, then every other shot. But I just don't I'll carry whatever the hell I want. For starters, say something like a 1911. 1911s are going to be at their peak of reliability with a Full Metal Jacket versus a hollow point. If you have a 1911 that runs flawlessly on hollow points, good for you. I guess I can't speak for the Rock Island. The 2 shots that went through it were hollow points. But, the Ruger and the Kimber all run flawlessly on hollow points. But what is this mentality that you're somehow doing something wrong by carrying a Full Metal Jacket? There is several locations, commie locations in the United States, where it is actually illegal to carry a round like this, a hollow point. I mean, in some calibers, like say my 10mm, which is one of the reasons that I stopped carrying that not. I mean, that was what my EAA, my witness. I stopped carrying that not because it was a big gun and you had, 16 rounds of 10 millimeter on your side. I stopped. It was the issue with that is no matter what kind of round was in it, the 10 millimeter is a very energetic round, and either over penetration, yeah, I said that, or a through and through. You know, is that what had? That's all I can think of is these whiz bang Cheetos eating douchebags that leave comments like that. I have to just be automatically assuming that all Full Metal Jacket bullets, no matter what the caliber, is just going to go straight through somebody and possibly hit someone behind, or go through the bad guy in your house, through the wall, through the furnace, through the refrigerator, take a turn down by the bathroom, and go through your child's bedroom wall. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a stupid thing, especially when they act like you just did something violently felonish in your video by having a magazine laying there that has a Full Metal Jacket bullet in it. Personally, I don't really give a shit. I'll carry either one of them. I'm not particularly worried about it. I prefer in my carry guns to always carry hollow points. My favorite of all of them is the Hornady XTP head, and that's what I had my brother-in-law loading in anything that he loads for me. The price of loading a Full Metal Jacket for a out at the range target round is not even worth discussing, so it's easier just to always buy the Hornady XTP heads regardless of what you're going to do with the rounds. I know me, when you're starting to stockpile stuff and you're thinking about going out to the range, you're like going, but, and as a side note, if you own a 10 millimeter pistol of any flavor, the Glock, Colt Delta Elite, the Rock Island, I very much encourage you to try Underwood ammo or Buffalo Bore, or get someone, or if you load to the original specs. I'm not saying load it hot, I'm saying load it to the original specs. Because for the most part, any 10 millimeter round that you're going to go buy off the shelf, American Eagle, just pick anything, it's all just shit compared to what the 10 millimeter really is. I mean, the difference between a typical off-the-shelf 10 millimeter round and a 40, I'd say they're pretty much identical. Then you have, say, someone like my brother-in-law load 10 millimeter, and people think, oh, you're loading it hot, or that's plus P, or that douchebag at EAA. Here, when I try to get some technical advice from them, the gun's not rated for plus P. It's not plus P ammo. Well, it's aftermarket. It's not factory. Okay, well, go ahead and you call Underwood Ammo and tell them that it's not what they sell it as. I mean, even the hottest stuff that I've had Mikey load for me was never loaded beyond the original spec data for a 10 millimeter round. But it sure makes a difference. You know, if all you've ever been able to get your hands on is American Eagle 10 millimeter or Federal 10 millimeter or something like that, and then I give you some of my 10 millimeter, you're just going to naturally think that it's loaded hot. No, all your stuff is just wuss, and this is what it's supposed to be. So, home defense provided by the PPQ M2. Sweet ass gun. Very much enjoy shooting that. Maybe someday I'll put a can on there, but as it stands right now, I think it's bullshit that you're looking at $1,000 to make the gun significantly longer and not anywhere near what you see in the movies. Unless you're shooting, like in the case of a .22, you might as well just dump all the powder out of your rounds and just shoot just nothing but a primer in there. Because in the movies when it goes, yeah, right. So far to date, having a chance to shoot a suppressed gun, a gun with an oil trap on it, a gun with some homemade modifications done to it. Actually, of all things, it's pretty pathetic to think you have $1,000 invested in, say, something like pick your suppressor. The fact that the oil trap actually works better. Doesn't work as long. Doesn't look as cool. Unless you want the end of your AR to have something about that long that says, you know, wick on the side of it. You could probably spray it black. Just make it match. Okay. We'll see you. What's tomorrow? We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll take a look at the Hop Devil. So, cheers, guys. Enjoy your Monday and your Tuesday until we get back together. And thank you guys for the Johnnie, which hopefully you don't see this for a while. Because if you're on a cruise watching YouTube videos, you're doing it wrong. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.